One of the greatest achievements in C.S. Lewis's work, The Chronicles of Narnia, is that the author carefully constructs a world of metaphor in order to insist that the God of the Bible is not a mere metaphor. Now, I'm no C.S. Lewis, but I have been in love with his fictional work in Narnia since early childhood. So, if you allow me, I would like to indulge myself and use some of Lewis's metaphors in order to describe my time at Welch College. I found myself timidly walking through the doors of Welch College in the fall of 2016. I felt like the Pevensey kids did when they first stumbled through the doors of the wardrobe, not knowing what they were getting themselves into, but curious about the whole new world they would soon discover. Similarly, Welch was a whole new world for me. New country, new culture, new people, new educational system, new challenges, and new lessons. And yet, all of these new things seem to be united by the common denominator of adventure. So I remember thinking to myself as a young freshman, how hard would this be? Well, as time began to pass by, I realized that adventures, while exciting and captivating, can also often be perilous and difficult. In fact, C.S. Lewis himself once concluded that adventures are never fun while you're having them. I felt the same way. At Welch, I was challenged in more ways than I can count, both academically and spiritually. Academically, I was challenged to persevere and work toward what was good, true, and beautiful, no matter the cost. Spiritually, I was stretched more than I thought I could bear. Honestly, there were many moments when I thought that I couldn't make it to the end of my voyage. But thankfully, I wasn't alone on this journey. Just like Aslan was there for Eustace, when the boy had turned into a dragon and needed to be regenerated, Jesus always arrived when I felt at my lowest, gently lifting me up and showing me compassion. I'm grateful today that I didn't have to go through my Welch adventure on my own, because Jesus was always there to be my companion and to meet my needs. He was there when I was working 3 jobs and taking a full load of classes, reassuring me that he was going to provide for tuition. He was there when I felt lonely, gently nudging me not to wait for others, but to take the initiative and pursue people myself. He was there when he used others to stir me on and remind me of the goodness that the Lord had shown me. He was there, always, my helper and my refuge, and I had nothing to fear. I'm thankful for the spiritual growth that took place in my life during my time at Welch, because I believe that spiritual growth is what permits an even clearer vision of who Jesus is. Lewis illustrates this very well in Prince Caspian. In the book, as Lucy comes face to face with Aslan, she finds out that the great lion has grown since she last saw him. In truth, it is Lucy's faith that has grown, not Aslan. The great lion seems bigger simply because Lucy can see more of him now. Over the course of time, Aslan has transformed Lucy's faith into the kind of faith that will transform Narnia. Aslan also requires that Lucy show the courage of a leader. In other words, he requires that Lucy perform the role she seems least qualified to perform. Yet, he does not instruct that she do it in her own strength. As Lucy buries her head in Aslan's mane in a gesture of weakness and fear, she feels the strength of the lion being transferred to her. I cannot tell you how many times I experienced Christ's role in my life as my strength giver and sustainer while at Welch. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. He does not require his people to walk alone and do his will isolated from his presence. Instead, he offers to carry his beloved children and strengthens them along the way. God definitely strengthened me during my time in college. He strengthened me not only through his word, but also through his people. So now I would like to extend some special thanks to those who made this adventure possible and more memorable. First, I would like to thank my parents for instilling in me the love of Christ. It is because of your countless sacrifices, love, and support that I'm able today to know what Christ has done for me and to share my hope for life with others. Next, I would like to thank my Welch professors, mentors, co-workers, and friends. You have opened many doors before me and challenged me to become a better steward of the things that God has given me. To Dr. Pinson and Mrs. Pinson, thank you for taking me under your wing during my time at Welch. I cherish your family and all the things you have taught me. Mrs. Pinson, you have been a tremendous example to me of what godly womanhood is supposed to look like. So thank you for investing in me and in so many other young women on this campus. Dr. McAfee, your wisdom and insight of Scripture have been so instrumental in my life. Thank you for sharing those with me. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to work together with you, Dr. Rogers, Mrs. Cockrell, and Mr. Bracey in the academic office. The skills I acquired there are a true gift, and I will forever be grateful for your kindness toward me. Mr. Thornsberry, thank you for investing in all of us English majors and for helping us think critically about literature and the world, as well as for introducing us to the importance of the moral imagination. Mrs. Thornsberry, thank you for always being there for your library clerks and for providing a first-hand example of what lowercase biblical feminism looks like. Dr. Calloway, I truly respect your firmness about God's truth and your passion about the responsibility we have to bring it to the world. I count it a great privilege and joy to have been one of your students. To my college roommate Maddie, thank you for being my friend from day one, for laughing and crying with me, and for introducing me to all the American things I had never experienced before. Thank you also to all of the churches and Women Active for Christ groups across the country who continually prayed for me and invested in my education at Welch. I pray that the Lord blesses you richly for the way in which you have blessed me. Finally, to my husband, my best friend, and now father of our son, thank you for loving me, supporting me, and taking care of me during this time. I will never stop thanking the Lord for allowing us to meet at Welch and for bringing us together in such a beautiful way. You are my biggest blessing and adventure, and I cannot wait to begin the next adventure with you and our sweet boy in Bulgaria as we bring the good news of Jesus to those who have not heard of it yet. If you're listening to these words and you find yourself in the midst of your own adventure, fearful of the future or lost in your wandering, I want to encourage you. Not all adventures are fun, but they ultimately prepare you to be a better traveler and hopefully, they bring you closer to your final destination. So, in the words of Aslan, courage, dear heart. Not every road is easy, but your reward in the end is worth it. Keep the good fight. Continue to follow in our Father's footsteps, and let your voyage be one that brings honor and glory to His name.